Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Eddy and Eddy, the Mis-Edventures. Now, as you know, Eddy and Eddy, the Mis-Edventures is a 3D platform video game which is based on Cartoon Network's hit show from 1999 to 2009, Eddy and Eddy. That was developed by Artificial Mind and Movement and published by Midway Games, that were known for doing the original Mortal Kombat games, Rampage, Total Destruction, and so on. And the game was mainly released on Game Boy Advance, GameCube, PS2, Xbox, and Microsoft Windows. Now, the premise of the game is basically about Ed, and Eddy, who in the game you play as. You mainly go around certain levels to sort of interact with a certain item or a certain thing, and you are brought into the level. For example, if you go to one where there's a sort of one that can get you to the sewers, where you're gonna have to kind of go and survive through alligators and that to get to Jimmy's birthday party. If you go one to the construction site area, you basically go through obstacles to get a badge from Rolf. And throughout the game, it's mainly meant to be the day-to-day lives of Ed, and Eddy throughout the game. And in the game, you are going to have to survive through dangerous guard dogs, rats, bats, spiders, alligators, and so on, just to survive through each level. And also, if you play as Ed, you can rummage through sandboxes and find certain items. Doing so can actually unlock 2 other levels, one of which is meant to be Revenge of Edzilla, when Eddy tries to recreate Edtropolis, and also Rebel Ranch, where basically you get stuck on an alien planet, much like the other 2 episodes from the other TV show. And what's interesting is when you kind of got the kind of giant gumball machine from the whole Imaginary Friend episode, doing so can allow you to get different kinds of jawbreakers, as a reference to kind of Eddy's bedtime story about the whole jawbreakers from different countries. And what's also good about the game, you've got the 3 Ed moves, which I call the triangular Eds. Mainly you've got the Batter Ed, which makes Ed into a dangerous rampaging machine. You've got the Tramper Ed, which is going to be Double D's move, where you can throw him up on objects. And you've got the Tower of Eddy, which is more like forming 3 people together to go through obstacles. And some of the characters have special moves, like Ed can pick up things and throw things to sort of give you an advantage. Double D can basically mend or fix items or allow you to progress quicker. Also, Eddy basically has his Stink Bomb attack, which can hurl away enemies. And throughout the game, you also have to deal with the Kanker sisters for some of the levels. And I think it works because the Kankers are always meant to be the intimidating force to some of the Ed schemes, which isn't a bad idea. And I think there are moments in the level where you are going to get annoyed or rampage through anger, like when you're kind of doing the Tower of Ed on some levels, you are going to slip up or make a mistake. Also, when you kind of deal with racing through Kevin, you are going to need to be extremely careful when racing him, as the Battering Ed is like the powerful force. And when you've got the level where the Kankers steal your jawbreakers, you have to go through a temple. It's like the Temple of Doom, but as a pleasure pit, where you have to go through different obstacles to get away from the Kankers before they make out with you, which isn't a bad idea. And I think the game feels more like it's trying to be what an Ed, and Eddy thing was. So personally, I feel if I was to make my own version of this, I would have had it that the Eds were planning to do this mega scheme. Have it that the 6 levels, plus the bonus ones, are planning for them to do this ultimate scam, to build something big. And the ending could have had it that it all fell apart due to faulty craftsmanship. That's how I would have done it. And I do admit some of the voice actors do return back perfectly, minus Naz's voice actress, which I'm guessing the writers just simply didn't know what to do with her. And I still think they could have done with her with one of the bonus ones, or one of the ones in the levels, but that's just me. And I also do feel with the Mis-Edventures, it definitely feels like a lot of effort and time were put into it. You have the feel of the show, you have basically a story that feels like an Eddy adventure. So I think this game definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.